Spain. Authorities arrested 14 workers at a major tourist airport in Spain on suspicion of pilfering items from checked-in luggage, revealing a haul of allegedly stolen goods worth nearly €2 million, $2.2 million, including around €13,000, $14,000 in cash. The arrests occurred at Tenerife's largest airport in the Canary Islands, with an additional 20 airport employees currently under investigation in connection to the case. Finland. Over 200 asylum seekers entered Finland from Russia after the Nordic country reopened some border crossings on Thursday following a 2-week closure. Despite the reopening, the Finnish government announced a 1-month border closure starting from 6 p.m. on Friday due to a renewed influx of asylum seekers. In November, around 900 asylum seekers from various countries entered Finland from Russia, a significant increase from the previous rate of less than 1 per day, according to the border guard. Texas. Texas reported a sharp decline in legal abortions, with 34 performed in the first 6 months of this year compared to 50,000 in 2020 before strict restrictions were implemented. All 34 abortions were categorized as medical emergencies, or to preserve the health of the woman, in line with regulations post the Supreme Court's decision on Roe v. Wade. The majority involved medication, and only 2 were surgical, dilation and evacuation, according to state data. Washington. An elderly man from Washington, D.C. was arrested on Thursday for allegedly killing his wife, 81-year-old Sharon Schwartz, over a pancake disagreement. Stephen Schwartz, 85, faces a second-degree murder charge for allegedly stabbing her in the back on December 10 when she made pancakes he didn't want, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia. Indiana. A central Indiana man, Moyad Danan, has been sentenced to over 16 years in prison for attempting to provide guns to the Islamic State group. His brother, Maud Danan, received a 20-year sentence in October 2021 for the same charge. New York. A momentary power outage occurred in New York City just before midnight on Thursday due to a small explosion at an electrical facility. Lights flickered, a subway line was disrupted, and some elevators and escalators briefly stopped running, impacting most of the city. Puerto Rico. A boat sank north of the Dominican Republic in inclement weather, but all 12 passengers were successfully rescued. 6 were saved by a Carnival Cruise Line ship, and the remaining 6, found clinging to debris, were rescued by the U.S. Coast Guard about 30 miles north of Puerto Plata. All passengers were taken to emergency medical services in Puerto Plata via helicopter and are reported to be in good health. St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Guyana and Venezuela agreed to refrain from using force and escalating tensions over the disputed Essequibo area after a meeting in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. While the region is recognized as part of Guyana, Venezuela has revived its claim. The joint statement emphasizes their commitment to avoid threats or force in any circumstances and to prevent the escalation of conflicts or disagreements. Brazil. China's State Grid emerged as the winning bidder for the initial and largest segment of Brazil's power transmission line tender on Friday. This project demands an investment of 18 billion reais, $3.64 billion, and is expected to yield a discounted annual revenue of 1.94 billion reais. State Grid is a major player in the Brazilian transmission sector, overseeing 24 concessionaires, including 19 owned outright and 5 through joint ventures, collectively managing over 16,000 kilometers of power lines in the country. Mozambique. Renowned Mozambican journalist João Chamus was found dead outside his residence on the outskirts of the capital, Maputo, in what is suspected to be a case of murder. Senegal. An anti-tank mine explosion in Casamance, a region in southern Senegal affected by an independence rebellion, resulted in the death of 4 Senegalese soldiers as their vehicle was struck. South Africa. Total Energies announced its readiness to commence the construction of a 216-megawatt solar plant with battery storage in South Africa, aiming for it to be operational by 2025. As Africa's most advanced economy grapples with power shortages attributed to aging coal-fired plants, the project reflects efforts to transition away from polluting fossil fuels. Pakistan. 3 officers were killed near the northwestern Afghan border in a gun battle on Friday, along with 3 militants, raising security concerns ahead of Pakistan's upcoming national elections. This incident followed another militant attack in the region just 2 days earlier, resulting in the death of 23 Pakistani soldiers in Dera Ismail Khan district near the lawless tribal areas bordering Afghanistan. China. President Xi Jinping has called for an all-out emergency response as a cold wave grips China, causing freezing temperatures and disrupting transportation. Forecasts indicate temperatures dropping below -40°C in several provinces. A rear-end collision on the Beijing metro during the evening rush hour left 102 people with fractures. The incident occurred on above-ground tracks when the last 2 cars of a metro train separated from the front carriages. By 6 a.m. on Friday, 423 people had been released from the hospital, with 67 still receiving treatment and 25 under observation. The preliminary investigation pointed to slippery tracks due to snowy weather and signal degradation as the cause. No deaths were reported. Australia. The New South Wales government's cashless gambling trial, set to commence early next year, will encompass nearly 4,500 poker machines spread across 24 local government areas. The expanded trial will involve 28 clubs of different sizes, and proponents anticipate that its success may pave the way for universal cashless gaming, following proposed gambling reform plans by both major parties in the March election.